Hi, this is Lisa Loves to Crochet and Knit. Today I'm going to show you how to crochet this cute little bee that can be used for like a little chapstick holder. You can put a little keychain on here and hang it from your purse or whatever. But let's get started. So you're going to need some googly eyes, some scissors, a tapestry needle, and a crochet hook. I'm using the size I. And then we're going to need some black, some yellow, and some white yarn. And you're going to start with a slip knot. And I'm going to lightly tighten it onto my crochet hook. And then I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2. I left a little bit of a longer tail so I can create his little stinger. So I'm going to do 4 half double crochets in the second chain from hook. 1, 2, 3, and there's 4. Now, this is where it's going to get tricky. I have reached the end of those 4, and I'm going to take my yellow yarn and I'm going to finish that stitch, that 4th half double crochet with the yellow yarn, and I'm going to slip stitch it to the beginning of the round where you chain 1, that little spaces right here in the beginning of the stitch. Okay, make sure you grab the right working yarn because it'll be a little bit of confusing. So it's yellow that I'm working with, and I slip stitched it to the beginning, and I chain 1, and I do 1 half double crochet in this stitch, and then I'm going to do 2 in the next. Working with the yellow. I didn't cut my yarn because I don't think it's necessary. So I'm just going to do 2 half double crochets in each of those 4 stitches. Okay. And then I'm going to slip stitch in this chain right here. Oh, back up. I got to take the black. We alternate the black in the last stitch. That's why I leave it attached. So you're just going to do the black, pull that loop up, and then slip stitch it with the black. Okay. So then I chain 1, and I do 2 half double crochets in each of these stitches around. Whoops. I gotta pull some more yarn here. Okay, I have 1 more to put 2 more half double crochets in. All right. In that last stitch, I'm going to pull up the yellow again. And I'm going to change colors where I have, oops, where you see I have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of black, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of yellow. The face is a little bit of a different, done differently. So I pull up the yellow and I slip stitch it to the beginning. Chain 1. All right, so I'm going to stop here and I'm going to show you. I use a stinger, so I use that end that is black, and I put my crochet hook through the center of the bottom, and I grab this tail and I pull it through. So it's out on this end. Now I take a loop from the other side where there's a little hole, and I stick my crochet hook in there, and I grab that end tail and I do a little chain 2. Oops. And then I pull that tight, and it's knotted, you know, because I chain 2 and then I pull up the loop, and so there's the stinger. And then all you need to do is I just snip it off, cut it off a little ways from where that was, and then there's my stinger. And then I keep going. I do 1 half double crochet in each stitch around. 1, 2. That black yarn is really hard to see. Oops. So I've done all of my increase rows. I ended with the last row, and this I'm just gonna continue to go alternate them until I have 4 rows of each color. And remember, I stop at the last stitch and I pull up the color of the row that I'm going to do next. Like here, I'm at the end of the row, and I'm going to pull up the black to go through the half double crochet and to slip stitch it to the beginning of the row. And then I chain 1 and I put in a half double crochet in that same space, and then I put 1 half double crochet in each stitch around. So I have 1 more black row, and it looks like I have 2 more yellow rows. And you're just going to keep going and repeat the pattern. I'm just going to keep putting 1 half double crochet until I reach the end. Okay, so I'm at the end, and I gotta grab the yellow now. And I pull the yellow through that half double crochet, and then I slip stitch it to the beginning of that row. Then I chain 1, and then I do a half double crochet in that same stitch, and then I just put 1 half double crochet in each stitch around. Whoops. All right, I'm gonna meet you when I have the 4 black and 4 yellow rows. Okay, so I've completed 4 rows of black and 4 rows of yellow. Now this is the only row that you're going to complete the half double crochet at the end with the yellow, and then slip stitch it to the beginning, and then cut your yarn, chain 1, take your tapestry needle and weave in your ends. And then, whoops, then I will show you how to do the face and add the googly eyes to the face of the bee. Okay, so I take my yellow and I do a slip or a magic loop. I do a magic loop, chain 1, half double crochet 8 in the magic loop, and then I slip stitch it to the beginning, chain 1, half double crochet in there, first stitch, and then I'm going to do 2 half double crochets in each stitch around, and then so I've done a couple. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my googly eyes and I'm going to put them to the back of my magic loop ring, and I'm going to do 2 half double crochets around the right side of his eye, the right side of the loop. It's kind of fidgety. So there's 2 on that. And then now I'm going to pull up a loop around there on this side of the googly eyes. And then in the center, I'm going to do 2 half double crochets in between, so you're not wrapping around any loop. And then you're going to push the googly eyes to the next one, and you're going to put your half double crochet in that same stitch going around the other eyeball side with a half double crochet, and you're going to do that twice around that side. And then there you have your eyes, and then you're going to continue down that other side of the magic of your little round circle. And so there's my circle, and I'm going to slip stitch to the beginning, chain 1, I'm going to cut my yarn, tighten that, I'm going to weave in all my ends, and then I have to add the smile. Okay, so now I'm going to take some black, and I'm just going to take a little bit of a length, and I'm just going to cut it, and I'm going to weave it into my tapestry needle, and then I'm going to do the smile on this one. And I just start at where I think how big of a smile I want, and I just go in those little holes that the half double crochets made, and I just keep going around, just kind of stitching in around his face. Let's see if I can do one more here. Okay, there's my smile. I'm going to take the back, and I'm just going to put a little knot in that. Oops. Okay, so I have that part complete. Now I'm going to take a section from the yellow, and I'm going to snip that off. I have it on my tapestry needle, and I'm going to take the smile, and I'm going to slip him to the bottom part. Actually, I want the knot inside, so I just go around the outside of both of those V stitches. Careful not to get around the eyeballs and stuff. You get caught. everywhere with a long stitch. So I just keep going around just like that. Okay, so I've completed stitching his head to the front part of the bee. So his face is onto the body. Okay, so now what I do is I take a slip knot and I insert my hook and I chain a little loop. I single crochet it to the body and then I do 10 chains. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I single crochet it to the other side of the body. And then chain 1, cut my yarn, make it a knot, pull my loop. And so there I have my little loop, and there's my little bee. Now I have to do the wings. And so with that, I take some of my white yarn and I make a slip knot. Oops. And I chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I half double crochet in second stitch from hook. And then in the next stitch, I'm going to do a double crochet. And then in the next stitch, I'm going to do 3 double crochets. There's 1. Oops. There's 2. There's 3 double crochets in that stitch. And then in the next stitch, I'm going to do 1 double crochet. In the next stitch, I'm going to do 1 double crochet. And then in the last stitch, I'm going to do 4 double crochets because I'm going to turn it. So there's 1, there's 2, here's 3, and there's 4. So I've turned my stitch around and now I'm going to do 1 double crochet in the next stitch. And they line up. Like this is where the previous double crochet is and this is where I'm putting the one on the other side. So there's 1 double crochet in this one. Seeing those line up too. And then in the next stitch, I'm going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to do a double crochet in the next stitch. And then I'm going to slip stitch to the beginning. So there's my wing. You're going to make 2 of these. So then I chain 1, insert my hook into that top loop. I take my bee and I fold them flat so I know that the top right here, loop right here, the black one, that's where I'm going to stitch around. So I'm going to single crochet around that and the wing. And I'm going to go in that same stitch and wrap around that same stitch on top twice. And then I'm going to grab the next stitch down below and do a single crochet around that as well. Then I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to cut my yarn. So there's attached 1 wing to the chapstick holder bee. So this is going to be a small, like it'll fit a chapstick tube in there. It's not a ginormous bee. It's a little one. So let's do the other wing. So we're going to do the same thing. So I'm going to start with the slip knot. Tighten. And I'm going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to do a half double crochet in second chain from hook, 1 double crochet, 3 double crochets in the next, one double crochet in the next stitch, 1 double crochet, and then in the last stitch I'm going to do 4 double crochets, and that's going to turn my work so I can go down the other side of the bee wing. So there's 3, here's 4, and remember I'm matching up my stitches, so this next stitch is going to do 1 double crochet, and then the next one you can see has 1 also. So then I'm just going to do 1 double crochet in that one, and then I'm going to do 3 in the next, because you can see that's the 3 double crochets on the other side. So there's 2, whoops, there's 3, and then the last one I'm going to do a double crochet, and then I'm going to slip stitch the beginning, chain 1, insert my hook into that top, whoops, top stitch, grab my bee. I'm going to do the other side now. So I'm going to grab this black stitch and I'm going to single crochet that wing to it. So there's 1 single crochet, and I'm going to go right back in that same stitch and around that black stitch on the bee and do another single crochet. And then the next stitch I'm going to do another single crochet, and then I'm going to chain 1, finish off, and then I'm going to take my tapestry needle and I'm going to weave in my ends. But first I'm going to take these 2 little seams and I'm just gonna slip stitch it together so it looks like they're a set of 1, just like that. And then I gotta weave in my ends, and then take some black yarn. We gotta have as antennas, and I make a slip knot, pull up a loop, take my crochet hook, and then I go in right by where I put those 2 stitches. Boy, I can't get in there. It's gonna be a little tight. And then I single crochet around that, and I chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then I cut my yarn, pull up a loop, and then I have to weave in my ends. So I take this one where I single crocheted from, and I go up his little antenna. And that gives me a little bit of stability in the antenna. And then I cut the end, and there's 1 antenna. And let's do the other side. Take some more black yarn, and I go around this one. This side's a little looser, I noticed. So I go around 2 of those stitches with a single crochet, and I chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And I cut my yarn, tighten that, take my tapestry needle, and I take the bottom part of that single crochet that I did on the bee and might work my way up the antenna, and then I cut that to the base of the antenna and just give the antenna a little bit of a height, and then all I have to do is weave in my ends, and there you have a little chapstick container for your, that's a bee. Okay, so there you have it. I have all the ends weaved in, and he's all set to go. And if you wanted to make the bees bigger, you can. I would just increase your hook size. This one's not the J, so it's a little bit bigger. But I think that they're perfect for like a little chapstick holder to put on like a school bag with a little keychain thing. But they're super cute. I love the googly eyes finger puppets. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.